A record 1,426 new COVID-19 cases have been reported here, the first time daily figures have exceeded 1,000. The national total has now more than 8,000. The Health Ministry says the vast majority of new infections are foreign workers in dormitories. 16 cases are Singaporeans or permanent residents. 5 more foreign worker dormitories have also been declared isolation areas. They are Avery Lodge, Kasia at Penjuru, Westlight Mandai Dormitory, PPT Lodge 1A, and Jurong Penjuru Dormitory 1. This brings the total number of foreign worker dormitories gazetted as isolation areas to 18. Since last Thursday, new daily coronavirus infections among Singaporeans and permanent residents have stayed below 30. That's in contrast to the 38 cases at the start of the month-long circuit breaker on 7th of April. This spiked to 53 the next day, the highest daily number since then. 2 weeks in and daily numbers have fallen. They've been hovering in the 20s and below for the past 5 days. Tomorrow marks the start of the third week of the circuit breaker, which is scheduled to end on 4th of May. Well, dozens of families have been moved out of a Taman Jurong estate as migrant workers in essential services relocate into vacant units in their blocks. These families will be put up at a hotel at no cost until the nationwide circuit breaker ends. HDB says this is to protect residents' health and well-being and enforce safe distancing.
For at least the next 2 weeks, this room in Genting Hotel will be home for 5-year-old Jaden Tan. CNA understands his family's one of about 50 that have cleared out of their flats in Yang Kwang Road to accommodate foreign workers moving into the neighborhood. The family's units would be left untouched. Some 7,000 workers are being moved to alternative housing, including at military camps, sports halls and floating hotels, to prevent them from being infected with COVID-19 in their dormitories.
We're very surprised because it's last minute. Last minute give us the letter.
The Yang Kwang residents who live in rental flats as they await the keys to their own say they received letters from HDB on the 7th of April telling them about the situation. Workers began moving into the estate 5 days later.
We have to pack and everything and shift out here. So, yeah, it's someone we have to go work. So, to me, the period of time is quite short lah.
Since last Sunday, residents have also been completely barred from returning to their flats. That's because several floors are being set aside for workers awaiting the results of swab tests. Throughout the family's hotel stay, rent for their flats will be waived. Each person also gets $15 worth of meal vouchers a day.
家里会比较好，家里可以煮啊，可以做 whatever 啦。在这里很麻烦，抽烟要走下去 hotel 抽，连煮东西不能煮，连可以吃杯面，或者下去跟他们 order 食物，这样子哦。洗衣服更麻烦，因为这里洗是10块。Laundry 打干是10块，收头都是20。
The rooms are also smaller than the 3-room flats they're used to.
We get 2 rooms, connecting rooms. He likes to play around, so then one of the rooms is empty, so we let him play down here. Yeah, make him like his own home.
现在都是 lockdown 嘛 ，and then 很难要出去也不可以，很多 shopping 也被关了因为为了自己的安全stay home 哦。 呀，他给我们 order 说给我们住在 hotel， 我们就听他的咯，住在 hotel 咯，至少我们有一个屋顶，住在那边。
Besides the flats at Yang Kwang Road, vacant units in Jalan Bukit Merah are also being used to house workers in essential services. When asked, HDB could not confirm if more estates like Mr. Tan's or Miss City's would be used, and it remains unclear if more families would be affected.
2 Singaporeans and a US citizen have allegedly breached their stay-home notices. They'll be charged in court tomorrow. One of the Singaporeans is a 48-year-old man. Chong Chun-Wah allegedly left his home at Bukit Batok on 3 separate occasions to buy food and check his mail. He's believed to have spent a total of more than 2 hours outside. The other Singaporean is a 25-year-old woman, Siti Wan Suaida, allegedly left her Woodlands home and walked to Vista Point to buy groceries and cigarettes. Authorities say she spent around 15 to 20 minutes outside, during which she failed to respond to multiple phone calls from them. The U.S. citizen accused of breaching his stay-home notice is a 44-year-old commercial pilot. Brian Dugan Yergan allegedly left Crown Plaza Changi Airport and took a train to City Hall before walking to Chinatown Point to buy personal items. He's believed to have spent around 3 hours outside. The three people could each be fined up to $10,000 and/or imprisoned for up to 6 months for each offense. 4 condominium residents have each been fined $300 for flouting safe distancing measures. They live in 4 separate condos along Irrawaddy Road, Sims Drive, Flora Road, and Ember Road. One was caught using the swimming pool. Another had let her children play by the pool. A resident was found not wearing a mask at the main entrance. In the remaining case, a resident was found using the gym. The managing body of the condo has also been fined $1,000 for failing to close all common facilities. Authorities say they've conducted checks on more than 230 strata-titled residential developments since the circuit breaker began.